Hello, I'm Dr. Galen. I'm a behavioral scientist, a licensed psychotherapist, and an executive life coach. And I want to briefly explain a new psychological technique that I've devised that has proven to be remarkably successful in helping individuals overcome a number of difficult problems and in maximizing their potential. Not long ago, I was consulting in Hollywood on a popular television program, and I was sitting in the studio with several writers and producers discussing different ways that one of the characters on the program might respond to a number of different scenarios. For the first time, it occurred to me that what was happening in the studio was very much like what happens in my clinics. As I answered the writers' questions, they were editing the storyline, which would eventually be passed off to the actors in the form of a script. They would in turn rehearse their lines and play their parts. Again, this is very similar to what happens in my therapy and coaching. My clients listen and think through my Socratic questions and suggestions, and based on their insights, they'll change their life scripts. In fact, I now tell all my clients, and I recommend to everyone that I work with, that a necessary first step in improving your life is to identify and revise stories that you tell yourself that undermine your success and happiness. This new approach, which I call life script restructuring, has been highly successful in helping individuals in a number of ways. Because of this success, I've recently written a book that outlines this approach. This book is called True Psychology. This title fits because the process is based on universal truths. I've discovered firsthand through my research and the work I've done among various cultures around the globe that anyone, anywhere, who's willing to invest the time required to write a new life script and rehearse the script using the self-hypnosis techniques I outline in my book will be able to make permanent changes in their lives. A relevant point here is that contemporary neurological research has demonstrated that our brains have the ability to rewire themselves in response to changes in our thinking. This characteristic of the brain is called neuroplasticity. Life script restructuring systematically leverages brain plasticity in a way that allows you to painlessly unlearn maladaptive ways of thinking and behaving and permanently replace them with rational life scripts. Although this process is similar to modern cognitive and dialectical approaches, I've discovered it to be both more efficient and effective. What's different, and I believe is revolutionary here, is that instead of changing the way you see the world and the way you behave with replacing one irrational thought at a time, through life script restructuring, you're able to contextualize and change the entire infrastructure of your many life scripts that dictate everything you think and do. This is important because it's estimated that we think approximately 20 to 70,000 thoughts a day. To make sense of these thoughts, we organize them into stories. That said, the irrational stories, those stories that don't help us get what we want, that undermine our success and happiness, are the targets of life script restructuring. So finally, let me say that this is not theoretical fun and games. I can't imagine sitting across from my clients day after day trying to convince them to do something that doesn't work. Life script restructuring works. It's grounded in my clinical experience and based on what leading behavioral scientists agree are the most important principles required to help individuals live up to their highest and best selves.